Noswaith dda, good evening. I'm glad to be able to join you for this poetry event this evening, and I'm going to read in Welsh and in English a poem that I wrote about Gaza some time ago, about 10 years ago, I think. So I'm thinking of Gaza as I'm reading this. Gauze in Gaza. After a graze, balm to kiss the wounds better. Then a square of gauze, its light silky weave caressing skin, a white secret hidden under plaster. As a child, we'd brandish this shield, been in the wars again, the elders sighed. Blood, our quiet witness after a sudden fall. Tonight, how light-hearted the talk of slips as we once hit the dirt headlong, while we watch on screen folk and tribes unbandaged, a land without tourniquet, and still no gauze in sight in Gaza. Only the thin woven fabric of a nation eternally in the wars. That's all about the old people who did remember the Second World War, saying about being in the wars. And this is the Welsh of that poem. Eto fyth yn Gaza. Wedi pob cwymp, eli, I gysanu'r clwy yn well. Yn ar y brithlen ysgan I wead, yn sidanu a'n wesu'r croen, cyfrinach wen wedyn, dan blaster glân. Fel plant, byddem yn brolio ein briwiau wedi bod yn y wars, fydde sylw rhai hun. Y darn sgwar fel tarian a'r gwaed yn distal. Mor ffwrdd â hi yw cydymau pitw plentyn. Heno wrth wylio'r byd heb fandage, dirwymyn yw'r ddinas I ar ei gliniau yn y tawch a gawch angain parhau heb rwyllen na llen. Ac yn Gaza heb gysur ydynt. Y genedl hon sy'n geni a marw heb na salm na balm na bendydd, ond y rhai a'i croesau yn dragwyddol bob enid awr yn y wars. I think, Bernie, you asked me to read the Welsh translation of a poem that Refaat Alaarer wrote. He also wrote it a few years ago, but died, as we know, tragically. Such a wonderful poet, professor, inspirator of so many in Gaza. So this is the Welsh version of If I Must Die. Os oes rhaid I mi farw, rhaid I ti fyw, I ddweud fy hanes, I werthu fy mhethau, I brynu darn o liain a'i llynynau. Gwnewch yn wyn gyda chynffon, fel bod plentyn rhywle yn Gaza, tra'n syllu llygad agored at y nef yn aros am ei dad a dawodd mewn fflam, heb ddweud ffarwel. Dim hyd yn oed yw epil, dim hyd yn oed iddo'i hun. Sylla, welid i'r barcud a wnest yn hedfan fri gan feddwl am eiliad mae angel sydd yno yn cario cariad yn ôl. Os bydd rhaid I mi farw, gad iddo ddod â gobaith, gad iddo fod yn chwedl am anadl einioes. That is a poem that I translated, and there have been so many poems in so many languages translated for and by those poets in Gaza. I'll end with a poem that I wrote for a protest in Aberystwyth, and it's in English. Again, it's about poetry, and it's wonderful how poetry can be a refuge in the darkest of places. And the title of this poem is Pall of Darkness. And all we do daily is gaze over Gaza, numbed by numbers. Anon is the way of war. No names to those whose fame is famine. Family, all extended in death. Extenuating circumstances, they'll say. 15 minutes of infamy, grounded by the grinders. The earth is flat of folk. And we who only know hunger in old books hang on to the word peace. And mort and mortar join in as a matter of fact. It's the diktats pact. Beyond the sea's ebb and flow, touching shore, waves lull and sigh. Dim more, no more, dim more. Dim more, by the way, is no sea. Diolch.